When we ask whether laws are equal for everyone, we must consider social class, political influence, wealth disparities, and how power often shapes legal outcomes.
I agree the question is complex because on paper laws appear neutral, yet in practice enforcement varies depending on education, connections, awareness, and access to competent legal representation.
Many people believe equality before law exists, but daily news shows powerful individuals avoiding punishment, while ordinary citizens face strict penalties for minor mistakes.
That perception damages public trust because when justice seems selective, citizens lose confidence, feel frustrated, and start believing rules are only for the weak.
Supporters argue laws are equal because constitutions promise fairness. Courts are independent, judges take oaths, and legal texts never mention favoritism or discrimination.
However, real life shows gaps between written law and applied law, especially where corruption, delays, political pressure, and financial incentives influence decisions.
Economic inequality plays a major role, since rich people can hire experienced lawyers, delay cases, file appeals, and negotiate settlements ordinary people cannot afford.
Meanwhile, poor citizens depend on limited legal aid, overworked public defenders, and slow systems, which reduces their chances of receiving timely and fair justice.
Another factor is awareness, because educated individuals understand their rights, procedures, loopholes, and documentation, while others unknowingly accept injustice or exploitation.
Yes, lack of legal literacy means many people never challenge unfair treatment, sign harmful agreements, or miss deadlines, allowing inequality to continue silently.
We should also discuss political influence, because lawmakers, ministers, and officials sometimes enjoy immunity, protection, or informal power, shielding them from consequences.
When leaders appear above the law, citizens feel anger and hopelessness, thinking equality is only theoretical, not practical, and democracy becomes weakened.
Some defend this by saying officials need protection to perform duties effectively, avoid false accusations, and maintain stability during sensitive decision-making.
Yet protection should never become permanent exemption because accountability ensures responsibility, transparency, and public confidence in institutions meant to serve everyone equally.
Cultural factors also affect equality, since gender, ethnicity, religion, and social norms can influence police behavior, courtroom attitudes, and sentencing outcomes.
In many societies, women, minorities, and marginalized groups face bias, harassment, and disbelief, making equal treatment under law difficult to achieve.
Statistics often reveal harsher punishments for certain groups, even for similar crimes, suggesting unconscious bias rather than deliberate discrimination sometimes operates.
Training judges, police, and lawyers about bias, ethics, and human rights can reduce these gaps, though changing mindsets takes time and consistent effort.
Technology might help equality because digital records, body cameras, online case tracking, and transparent databases reduce manipulation and increase accountability.
Still, technology alone cannot fix inequality, since algorithms may reflect existing biases and access to technology itself remains unequal in many regions.
Another issue is delayed justice, because long trials exhaust poor people financially and emotionally, while wealthy individuals comfortably wait for favorable outcomes.
The saying justice delayed is justice denied fits here, because time becomes another resource that rich defendants can afford and poor victims cannot.
Some countries introduce fast-track courts, alternative dispute resolution, and simplified procedures to address delays and improve access for common citizens.
These reforms help, but without proper funding, staffing, and monitoring, they risk becoming symbolic rather than transformative for real equality.
Media also influences legal equality, because high-profile cases receive attention, pressure authorities, and sometimes lead to quicker or harsher decisions.
Meanwhile, cases involving unknown individuals remain ignored, underreported, and unresolved, reinforcing the belief that visibility determines justice outcomes.
Education systems should teach basic law concepts, rights, duties, and procedures, so citizens feel empowered rather than intimidated by legal institutions.
I strongly support that because informed citizens question abuse, demand fairness, and participate actively in democratic and legal processes.
International law promotes equality, but enforcement varies widely, since domestic politics, sovereignty concerns, and resources affect implementation of global standards.
True, treaties sound powerful, yet without strong national commitment, independent courts, and civic pressure, international promises remain distant ideals.
Some argue absolute equality is unrealistic because societies differ, humans are imperfect, and discretion is necessary in complex legal situations.
I accept perfection is impossible, but striving for fairness through checks, balances, and transparency is still essential for social stability.
We should recognize positive examples where courts punished powerful figures, proving equality can exist when institutions are strong and independent.
Such cases inspire hope, showing citizens that persistence, evidence, and collective pressure can sometimes overcome privilege and influence.
However, celebrating rare successes should not hide everyday injustices faced by millions who lack voice, money, or connections.
Exactly. Equality should be routine, not exceptional. Otherwise, law becomes a privilege rather than a universal protection.
Public participation, watchdog organizations, and civil society play important roles by monitoring cases, reporting abuse, and supporting victims legally.
Free media and active NGOs increase transparency, but they also need protection from intimidation, censorship, and legal harassment.
Sometimes people misuse equality arguments, claiming discrimination whenever outcomes differ, ignoring evidence, context, and legal reasoning.
That is why fair investigation, clear communication, and reasoned judgment are necessary to distinguish bias from lawful differentiation.
Ultimately, the question is not whether laws are written equally, but whether systems ensure equal application consistently across society.
I believe laws aim for equality, but implementation remains unequal due to power imbalances, requiring continuous reform and public vigilance.
So perhaps the answer lies between extremes, acknowledging progress while admitting serious flaws that demand attention and collective responsibility.
Yes, honest discussion, education, reform, and accountability can gradually close the gap between legal ideals and lived reality.
If citizens demand fairness peacefully, vote responsibly, support justice initiatives, and stay informed, equality before law becomes more achievable.
And when institutions respond transparently, punish wrongdoing regardless of status, and protect vulnerable groups, trust in law strengthens.
Therefore, asking whether laws are equal for everyone should motivate action, not just debate, because justice defines society's moral direction.
I agree completely. And through discussions like this podcast, learners can improve English while reflecting critically on justice and equality worldwide.
Continuing this discussion, we should examine how police discretion affects equality, because initial decisions often determine whether cases even reach courts.
Yes, selective arrests, warnings, or investigations can quietly shape outcomes, allowing some people to escape scrutiny while others face immediate legal trouble.